Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Today I really want to focus on opening our hearts and really grounding down, finding the earth again, finding the ground in ourselves and on the mat. It's really intense time. There is a lot of power and protest and beautiful change that is happening. However, in that there's been a lot of chaos and there's been a lot of fatalities and hurt that's happening. Also, that balance of things is trying to find the equality and what really needs to happen. And fighting is important for those things, but also remembering to find that balance of peace within yourself so you can reflect. So today, in honor of everything that is happening and the equality that needs to happen, I really want to find that balance and equality in ourselves as well, and be able to project and find peace, and just having that in our thoughts today while we get started. We're going to start laying down. If you can find a pillow or a blanket to lay underneath us, that will be perfect. So just bringing it right at the base of our spine, but making sure our shoulders and chest are lifted. Just creating some space in our chest, opening up our heart. Let's breathe here. Starting to tune in to our breath. First, feeling the ground underneath us, the support it has. Feeling the points of the body that touch the floor. Starting to deepen our breath, slowing down our exhales and inhales. And let's focus in on our heart. Breathing into that center. Before we get started, let's set an intention for class today. In ourselves. That could be peace, love, compassion, anything that relates to your heart and what you want to walk forward in your life. Holding on to that intention for class. Let's inhale, exhale, deepening that breath. Start wiggling our toes and fingers, rolling our ankles and wrists, starting to wake up just a little bit. That momentary silence with ourselves. Let's lift ourselves up, removing that pillow, but staying flat on our backs for right now. Pressing your elbows into the ground, creating a little bit more space, letting it fall to the ground. Let's bring our right leg in, our knee, grasping our shin and squeezing our leg into our chest. Really feeling that right hip pull down towards the ground. We're staying low today. Really remembering the ground beneath us, the peace that it can bring. Inhale, squeeze it a little bit closer, and let's lengthen that leg. You can bring your knee in on your left foot if it feels a little uncomfortable in your lower back. If not, keep it extended and just walk your hands up your leg. Wherever that is, it might be your calf, your shin, your ankle, your foot, wherever it is, starting to pull that in. You can have a slight bend in your knee just to start stretching into our calves, our hamstrings, the back body. Our legs hold us up and are connected to the ground. These are very important parts of our body. Inhale, exhale, squeeze it a little bit closer. And bending at that knee again, squeezing it into your chest. And let's take our left hand to the outside of our right leg, bringing our right arm over and twisting our right leg over to the left. Starting to wake up the spine. Twists are really good. They were said to release toxins and negative energy in our body. So let's let that release. Inhaling here and exhaling all the negativity out. And just inhaling peace and compassion. And wanting to send that out into the world. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, look over to your right hand. Inhale that leg back up, squeezing it one more time into our chest and release. Let's switch, bringing our left leg in. Again, let's squeeze that into our body, really wanting that left hip to roll down to the ground. We want a full connection of our back. Again, you can bring your right leg in, bent, if that feels good for you. If not, keep it extended. Inhale here. Let's just bring that foot straight up. Each leg is different. You might need a little bit more of a bend here. That's just fine. So again, walking our hands up to wherever feels comfortable. Inhale here, flexing our feet and bending at the elbows, bringing that leg as close as we can. Just working towards waking up those hamstrings. Inhale. Exhale, bending that knee back into our chest, and then now bringing our right hand to the outside of our left leg and twisting towards the right, letting that leg fall. Bring our left hand extended out again for a deeper twist. Look towards those left fingers, but really feel that earth. We want that shoulder to stay connected to the ground. And even pressing our hands into the ground. Breathing here. One more breath, bringing that back up, squeezing it in again. Let's bring both legs in now, giving our lower back a rock. Back and forth on the spine, or you can make circles going one way and then the other. Again, rocking along that spine. All right, let's open our legs like a book here, bringing our hands to the inside of our knees and letting them fall open, flexing our feet, and starting to work into those adductors, releasing the tension that builds up in our hips and our legs. They take a lot of force. They are the connection to the ground most of the time. So are our feet. So let's just roll, and our ankles. Let's roll out our ankles just a little bit in this situation here. We roll them towards each other, roll them away. Just waking them up, whatever you like here feels good. Stretching into those feet, remembering those feet. Let's inhale, maybe letting our legs fall out a little bit more. And then now, bringing our legs up, remembering to keep the lower spine connected to the ground, but let's grab, bringing our hands to the outside knife edge of our foot, our pinky side, and coming into happy baby. You can even rock your baby a little bit. It's very fun, innocent, remembering to smile, laugh at yourself, finding what feels good. But again, consciously moving with intention, pressing that lower spine into the ground. Really finding that connection with the ground today. You can even bring your peace fingers to your big toe and stretch one leg out here, our right leg. Again, getting a deeper stretch into our inner thighs, switching. And here we go, bringing our feet together into a Supta Baddha Konasana, bound angle. Just grasping our toes and just squeezing our legs in, again, consciously moving that lower back onto the ground. Enjoying this laying down. Feeling again the connections in our different body to the floor, the back of our head, our shoulder blades, our lower back, our mid back, all of our back, each vertebra. Let's take one more breath here. And slowly bringing our knees together and starting to rock on our spine. Waking that up, getting a little massage from the ground. Breathing here, remembering to smile. And whenever we find some balance, coming to boat pose. You can we're keeping our legs squeezed in. We're really moving slowly today and remembering to hug ourselves to ground down. So feeling those sits bones press into the ground. We can flare our toes here and just squeezing our thighs into our chest. Breathe, feeling the lungs expand against our thighs. If you have found a good balance, maybe closing your eyes for a second, feeling the support underneath you, feeling it through your body instead of your vision. The vision helps with balance a lot, but remembering that the ground is right there. One more breath here. Let's release for just a second, finding that strength, that core. You can even extend our legs, finding a shake of prana. One more breath, and let's cross. Here in easy position. Grounding down through our sits bones again. We can even remove the fleshy parts, really feeling them. And if it's kind of hard for you to find it, imagine you're sitting back into a chair. A lot of people, when they're sitting, they sit, hunched over. I do it. I forget sometimes. And so we can grasp our knees and just sitting back like we're pressing our spine into a chair. Bringing our ears over shoulders, extending through the head up to the ceiling and the spine down through the floor, like roots growing into the ground. Finding that connection again, those points of the body that touch the ground, that feel it. Let's inhale our shoulders up to our ears and roll them down and back, just finding what feels good. Remembering to breathe in the spots that have a little bit more tension. Again, with everything that's happened this year, a lot of attention has accumulated in different spots in our body, the places that we hold a lot to feel protected or just the stress. So shoulders are one of them, neck, lower back, and even your thighs and legs, this emotion that is stored there. Let's take one more breath and reverse. Again, finding that front, remembering your chest, your heart. Take one more breath here. Inhaling, our arms up and coming to the right side, stretching through the side body, but grounding down. A tendency to lift that left hip, but we can press into the ground with our right hand and send that left hip and sits bones back into the ground. Spreading through our fingers, but stretching, arching over, and again, peeling our chest, shining it forward, releasing the heart, the compassion and peace into the world. One more breath, and let's move to the left side, again, arching over, pressing into our left hand, remembering our sits bones, fully connected, peeling open. One more breath. And coming back to neutral spine here. Shake it out a little bit. Just roll our neck just a tad to wake that up. Letting your head drop. Moving side to side. Bringing your ear to your shoulder. And then the other side. Just finding, if you want to make the full circle, remembering not to crunch back through the spine, but keeping the back of your head like it's pressing into the back of the wall. Really finding expansion, extension in our spine, not to hurt. We don't want to crunch our neck. Take one more breath wherever you are. And let's bring our right foot up into our arms, bringing the left shin parallel to the front of your mat, and bringing our right foot into our little elbow crease here, and then the knee into the left. If you can clasp your hands or you can grab your leg, but just remembering to keep your foot like this is the head of the baby. Keep it up. And we're just gonna rock. Opening up our IT band, our psoas. Just getting a deep stretch here. Being kind to our legs today. Wiggling our toes, remembering they're there. More breath. And bringing our foot, our hand to our foot, our left hand to the foot, and then just stretching it out in front of us, and then bringing it close to our head, stretching it out in front of us, close to our head, and let's release, moving to the left foot here. Again, bringing your right shin parallel to the front of the mat, bringing our foot to the crease of our elbow, and remembering to keep that foot like it's a baby head. We don't want it drooping down, we want it up. Let's just rock here again, loosening up those hips. Remembering to breathe. Maybe coming back to that intention we set at the beginning of class. Bringing your mind to that, breathing into that, sending it out into the world. One more breath here. And grabbing our foot and stretching it out in front of us. Then up to our ear in front of us. And let's release. All right, let's come to a star position here. One more stretch into our inner thighs and outer legs, even into our lower back. So almost like an arms or foot distance, whatever feels good, away from your pelvis. Again, passively stretching here. We don't have to press into our legs, but just walking over our feet, letting our head rest. Breathing into the tension spots. Inhale, walk over to the right side, bringing your left hand to the inner of our thigh. Just a slight stretch here, again, grounding down, feeling the earth beneath you. Inhale, exhale, let's walk back through the middle to the left side, bringing our right hand to the inner thigh and grounding down, bringing our nose over our knee, but feeling our sits bones pressing into the ground, our hands pressing into the ground as well. One more breath. And let's release back up here. Coming to tabletop. And just let's do a couple of cat-cows just to wake up the spine and our belly. Again, pressing into the ground with the four corners of our hands, pressing away from the mat to protect our shoulders. But again, our shoulders over wrists. Feeling the tops of our feet, or even you can have tucked toes, pressing into the mat and our knees too. So feeling that real sturdy ground feeling. Dropping the belly, pressing our heart up to the sky and arching back. Just doing a couple of those. Waking up our bellies, waking up our spine. Whenever you've done your last cow, let's meet in neutral and just do a quick puppy posture. So walking our hands out, keeping our hips above our knees, walking our palms and pressing our chest into the ground, bringing our forehead or just hovering above, or even if you have an open lower back and your shoulders, you can even bring your chin to the mat. Really opening up through that throat, that chest area. Wherever you are, just breathe a couple of breaths here. Again, keeping our practice today low, remembering the ground. One more breath. And let's just walk back and start to press into our hands and our feet, bringing our body up towards the sky and pressing down through our hands and our feet. Our first dog of the day, let's just walk that out. Remembering to shine our chest towards the ground, looking back at our toes, and working our heels towards the ground. They might not be there, and that's cool, but just consciously bringing that thought to our head. Take one more breath here, and let's shift forward on our toes, coming to plank, and just holding the plank. Again, finding we're flying a little bit here, but again, just really consciously pressing up through the hands. Finding those places in our body that are connected to the ground. One more breath. Let's press back up to downward dog. Inhale, exhale, shift forward to plank. Hold, breathe, pressing the ground away from you. Inhale, back to downward dog. Exhale to plank. Inhale to downward dog. Exhale to plank. We'll do one more. Finding that strength also. Inhaling to downward dog. Again, pressing those heels towards the ground. Pressing the hands away. Inhale to plank. And let's shift forward on our toes and lower all the way down to our bellies. Bringing our forehead to the ground. Coming back to that intention. Let's just rock our forehead. Feeling that front body close to the ground. Let's extend our arms, bringing our right cheek to the floor. And let's just lift that left leg and bring it across our body, just getting a little bit of a shoulder stretch and a stretch in our front body as well. Bringing our left hand in, you can even press away, rolling a little bit deeper into that shoulder. One more breath. Rolling back over, bringing our left cheek to the ground and pressing that right leg away. Getting a little bit of a shoulder stretch here. Breathe and roll back. All right, let's come to our mat here and bringing our hands straight in front of us and zipping up through the middle, really pressing those toes into the ground, pressing your hands. You can cross your thumbs, right thumb over left. Breathe here, and let's just lift, flying. But again, feeling that grounding through our belly, but lifting up, pressing our chest to the sky. Breathe here and release. Inhale, bring it up and release. Really trying to zip up through the middle body. Inhale, bring it up and release. And one more. Inhale, lift, breathe, and let's let our arms and legs go like we're skydiving. Bringing our chest a little bit higher, feeling those points of connection with the ground. Shining our chest forward. Inhale, hold a little higher, and release. All right, bringing our hands to the middle of our chest, zipping up through our back body, pressing our toes into the ground, and let's lift our chest up off the floor into Cobra. Bhujapadasana. Really inhaling through that back. The lower back might be talking to you. Let's exhale, bringing it down. Let's do a little bit of a wide cobra. So bringing our feet to the edge, a little bit past the edge of our mat. Just creating a little space in that lower back. Again, squeezing our elbows to our chest, our mid-body here, and pressing up through the ground. You can have a lower cobra if you like. Listening to your body, let's roll those shoulders down and back and look back at our right toes. Bend that knee, wiggle. Inhale back in the middle, look back at the left toes, bend that knee, wiggle. One more breath, pressing up and release. Squeezing up back through the middle of our body. And let's press back through cobra or plank, pressing the ground away, and back through downward dog. Pressing your heels towards the ground. And let's shift forward to plank. Again, here, finding that strength, that ground, the connections of your body that's touching, spreading your toes firmly. Let's press back up, downward dog, shift forward to plank, downward dog, and plank. Let's do one more, downward dog, and plank, lowering those knees, bringing them wide as your mat, and pressing your body back through to a wide child's pose. Just for a moment here. You can press into those hands to ground those hips down to the ground. And then release. Let's bring our hands together in prayer position and fold them over our head. A symbol of surrender and humble. Let's return to that intention that we set today. Breathing deep. One more breath. And let's push ourselves back up. Bringing our knees in, tucking our toes, and coming up. If this is hard, you can bring that pillow. If it's rough on your knees, bring that pillow underneath you and sit up on that pillow. It'll create a little bit more space. Anyway, either way, wherever you are, let's drop down into those heels just to get a little stretch in our feet, feeling those toes press, spreading them wide, and press them into the ground. Bring your hands to prayer position just for a moment. And let's lift up, keeping our toes tucked still. Inhaling that right arm and bringing it back to our right heel. Starting to back bend, but also opening our chest. Ustrasana, camel position, working towards that. One more breath. Inhale that back up. And let's lift that left hand, bringing it back. Pressing that chest forward. Inhale, bringing it back. And if that felt good, continue to do that. But if you want to move to the full position, let's inhale that right arm back. Inhale that left arm back. And press into our heels, our toes pressing into the ground. And shining our chest towards the sky. Remembering to breathe. But again, let's consciously think about what parts of our body are connected to the ground. One more breath. Let's lift up our right hand, our left. Flatten our toes. Coming up to our hands a little bit, just bang the toes out. And coming back here. Squeezing our legs in, just taking a moment. So let's inhale. We're going to take our right hand, bring it to the right knee, and just lift up. Getting a deeper stretch into the front of the ankle. Inhale the left foot. If you need a little balance, you can lean on the ground. It's okay. And now let's inhale both of them up. You can keep your hands on the ground or come to prayer position, whatever feels good. And release. Coming to one side or the other. Let's do just one more twist here. So bringing our left foot in, again, parallel to the front of our mat, crossing our right, bringing that foot in now. You can keep it parallel if that feels good, or if it feels weird, just keep it straight. But again, we want to be pressing both of our body, our sits bones, into the ground. Let's squeeze that knee, that right knee into our chest. Let's inhale that right arm up. Bring it to behind us. Inhale the left arm and twist. Again, finding that extension in your spine. You can keep your arm grasping our knee or bring it over for a little bit of a deeper twist. Looking back at that right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Really extending through that spine, bringing our belly to touch our right thigh here. So again, having a little space there, but that's the movement. One more breath. And release. Let's just switch our legs. So bringing our right leg to begin the parallel with our mat. Left leg over. Then squeezing that in. Again, making sure our hips aren't lifting. Inhale. Our left arm back. Right arm lifts and twist. Inhaling, expanding through that spine. Again, keeping those hips. It wants to lift. Mine does, definitely. But keeping those hips pressing towards the ground. One more breath. And release back here. Right, let's come to our back, slowly rolling down. Bringing our knees to our chest, giving our back a little bit of a rock, and setting our feet down close to our glutes. Let's bring our shoulders in, squeezing our shoulders in. Our arms are facing up, palms up. Let's inhale, and we're going to lift our pelvis towards the sky on our inhale. Squeezing our shoulders in, having our chin tucked. Breathing here. If you want a little bit more of a lift, you can clasp your hands. Or if you just want some more grounding, come right beneath here and lift you can hold yourself up wherever you are. Breathe. Shining your chest again, your heart to the sky. Breathing into that belly, walking those feet in. Now coming up to our toes, holding here. Again, feeling that connection. What parts of our body are connected to the ground? One more breath. Now let's create some space in our shoulders. If you had your arms clasped, let them go. And slowly roll vertebrae by vertebrae down. Our feet being the last to touch the earth. Slowly feeling that connection. Dropping our heels. And breathe. Let's do that one more time. Again, squeezing our shoulder blades in. Starting to lift that pelvis up to the sky, squeezing your back body, pressing that head into the floor, but keeping your chin towards your chest, and opening up your lungs, shining your chest to the sky. Let's lift up on our toes. Breathe here. And again, creating space in our shoulders, slowly rolling down, feeling the wonderful support from the ground on our spine, releasing our heels. Let's bring our legs out, a little bit wider than the mat. Let's inhale, squeeze our shoulder blades together, and let that drop, creating a little bit more space. If you like, we can come back to that chest. Actually, let's do that. Let's lift up, bring that pillow or blanket underneath our chest one last time. Opening this area up. Starting to slow our breath down. If there's any other posture you'd like to do before coming into Shavasana, feel free to do it. Let's breathe here. And before we go, let's imagine peace and love. There's a white light spreading all over the world today. Imagining everyone that is protesting, all the mothers and fathers, daughters, sons, everyone that's out there fighting for equality. Let's bring them Imagine them surrounded by peace and light and protection. And for yourself as well, walking through the world, imagine yourself wrapped in a white light, peace and protection and love. Inhale, exhale. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your week. I'm Yoga Birch. Namaste.